What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the number one comment on YouTube, and I'm back with another review. What am I reviewing? I'm reviewing Married at First Sight. This is season 15, episode 11, and this is the Justin and Alexis uh, review. And before I get started, those who are not familiar with my channel, with Married at First Sight, I do separate videos for couple by couple instead of one long video. It works for the Dove fam, so we roll with it. And again, as I told you, I am YouTube's number one commenter. So with this channel, it's all about those comments, not just likes and subscriptions, but the comments. This is why I do this to hear from y'all, to see y'all, hear y'all thoughts and interaction. As I tell you, the people in the Dub fam are way funnier than me. If you look in those comments, it's a party. It's a great time. So that's what I ask. That's why I do it for other. The only thing I ask within that, just stay respectful to each other. This is the Dub fam over here. So you talking to your cousin. So just be respectful. But you ain't gotta be respectful for the people on TV. Do the channel's model. Say what you say. If you want to talk about Alexis' choices of what she wears, talk about it. Get it down in the comments. You want to talk about the weird faces Justin makes, get down and say what you say. Whatever it is. So let's just go ahead and get right into it to find out what happened. Because really this was like almost a to be continue episode where at the couples dinner, Justin and Alexis had a big old fight about nothing, but I call it what Justin was doing was more so poking the bear. And it just picked up with that. And Alexis continued to do what she said she didn't want to do in, let's say, in the bathroom confessional with Stasia. She has to coddle the baby man, Justice. I said Justice, Justin. Because, he's having a meltdown because he insisted that she tell him exactly what she's feeling. And with the whole situation, everybody knows I'm tough on Justin. So be it. But Alexis kind of shifted like all the blame on Justin. And she really did something in that situation to contribute to how it ended. Because, like, not all, a lot of women, when something's bothering them, they was like, oh, nothing's wrong. It's fine. Everything's good. Like, yeah, right. You know, um, and that's a problem. Justin picked up on Alexa's body language because, again, body language is even more telling what's coming out your mouth. People will lie to you with a straight face, but that body language does not lie. He knew something was wrong. That's why he like pressed her out, but he didn't have the maturity or the tools to say like, "Hey, you know what? Seems like a moment. Let's stick a pin right here. We're gonna get back to the house. Me, you, and Mr. Newton gonna work all this out, and we're gonna find out what's going on." So he should just revisit it. But Dr. Pepper's here finally, and she gives Justin and Lexus a very needed house call, to check on their progress. And I guess during the session, we could tell Justin was a little emotional, more emotional than normal. And we learned that his dog was actually fully possessed by a demon and can't be around humans or other dogs. No, I'm just playing. That's not true. We found out at the doggy concentration camp, they gave a report back that his dog pretty much is incurable. He got to be a slave dog. He got to be a work dog. He on the plantation. He has to live at the farm or suggested. I'm like, man, you better give my dog back. I'm gonna sell him or something. Like I'm gonna put him in a home where I want him to be, not just like you're gonna have him and keep my dog. That's not like you kidnapped my dog. But I guess Justin was really broken up because he felt that I guess it was best because he can't bring him around Mr. Newton because his demon dog will try to bite his Alexis dog other eye out or whatever. And you can't have a blind dog if you don't have to. So that's hard for him because he's had that dog. That was his first dog. He had the dog for 7 years, and it's kind of tough. And I swear, I hope the marriage works out because you didn't gave your dog up, and he could have just been aggressive or or non-aggressive with y'all just around. So I wonder how that's going to turn out. I really want to know how that's going to affect Justin later on. And also in the session, we really learned why um, Alexis runs away from being vulnerable. Vulnerable moments, she's like, "Shut up! I don't want to talk about it. Or it's soft or whatever." We learned that um, I guess she's in the opposite situation with, but similar to like Nate's. Like she was raised by her mother, and she calls the word hyper independent. I've never heard nobody use that term before, but I get it. She's just saying her mother's does it all. She got to be strong. She got to be the man and the woman all at the same time, and that's all she came up around. And yeah, that's problematic, So it's just like the boss lady chick. So when a woman keep talking, "Oh, I'm so strong," or "I'm this and that," and all of that, she's trying to prove something to you. That's because someone has shown her or taught her that you got to be tough. You can't feel. You got to get through any and everything, but not being able to process like how you're feeling in that moment. And it's not a good attribute. It's not, because it's not balanced. Because as an adult, you need to be able to deal with all situations in a healthy manner. And if you just got this strong mode on all the time, man or woman, it's not going to work. Unless you live by yourself, you're going to be by yourself, and that's what it is. But anytime you try to interact with somebody, it'll end up being problematic. So I get it. So we see Justin, he goes back to his childhood home or whatever, or the area he grew up in. And he was telling Alexis, like, how through the alley they used to skip through the alley. And I'm like, doesn't Justin look like he skips through the alley and flies kites? He does. I mean, he does. And what can I say? I'm gonna just leave that alone. But I truly learned in this episode, because like I said, this episode was very revealing. Because, like I said, that thing with what type of experience you have as a child follows you, and especially if it's negative or toxic, if you haven't cleaned it up, it's going to follow you until the day you die, like a ghost or something. It's a thing. So we learned why, like, Justin never told Alexis that Mr. Newton was on a hunger strike or he'd been coughing up his guts all day. It's because his 19-year-old brother raised him. So I don't know what happened to his parents and why they were gone. And Alexis was like kind of asking the question without asking, like, really, your brother was 19 raising a 13-year-old? That is alarming. 19-year-old is still developing, growing, and is not fit to raise up a teenager, because they're a teenager themselves. You know, people do all kind of things all the time. People have children at 13. Like Chris Rock always said, you you could you could do anything, but it don't make it right. You could drive a car with your feet, but don't make it the best thing to do. So this is definitely that kind of situation. That is alarming. 19-year-old brother raising his 13-year-old brother alone. So yeah, I guess it's better than being having Justin in foster care, but at the same time, it's going to end up bad, and we see what we got. It ended up bad, and again, why Justin didn't tell Alexis Mr. Newton's on a hunger strike for 2 days, or he's coughing up blood all the time, is because his brother told him, how you solve problems, you figure it out at 13 years old. So that's what he carried through all his life. He doesn't require help or look to get any help because he never received any. You figure it out. Like, it's some things I don't know to this day. Like, I have to find the information, or I do have to figure it out, but I'm an adult, fully grown and matured. Justin was a boy, and I think he's stuck in that boy's place trying to figure it out, piece life together, and trying to just make his way. So I really kind of got him this episode, like, because he was never raised. He wasn't. All his brother showed him was beatings when he didn't do something, and again, that normally doesn't help. You haven't talked to him or made him understand what's going on, or give him some options of what to do. It's sad. It is really sad. So in real life, I gotta point out, Alexis was kind of clown on her husband that he's a skipper and a kite flyer. Well, she didn't put the skipping part, but a kite flyer or whatever. She said what I was thinking. Like, it's kind of weird, but I have to accept him the way he is and love him how he is or whatever. Like, cause my 6'8" husband is flying kites and he's enjoying it. So yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing. So we get to the ending of with them, and Alexis, she wrote a letter. I think she think it was a poem. It didn't rhyme or go together. She called it "Bag Lady." Well, but it was in reference to where how one instance with her roommate saw her struggling with bags, and she almost like broke down, like, "Are you going to help me or not?" And her friend was like, "I didn't want to help you because normally you never ask or need for help." So it's the thing that hypersensitivity or whatever, or hyper independence, sensitivity. You know, we learned that she is actually a sensitive person, but she doesn't feel comfortable showing her emotions and being vulnerable because what she saw or who was around her environment was a very tough environment where the emotions were shown as weakness. And I have to say, when I was watching Justin, I guess, listen to her story, he seemed like he was more so going along, like he's really checked out. I don't know if he's already really truly given up in his process of knowing that, like, in real life, Alexis ain't feeling him. She don't like the skipping and the kite flying and the crying all the time. She just going through the motions. So we're gonna find out. Maybe he'll get his little demon dog back. So again, drop down in the comments. Tell me what you thought. Something I missed. Something you want to point out. And as I always tell y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate it, and I really mean it. I think we get ready to hit number 4 on the next video.